This video is sponsored by Alcid eHomes, whose mission it is to accelerate the advent of sustainable, healthy living systems around the world. Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. So Andrew Carpathy, the head of Tesla's AI team, just held a little lecture about Tesla's AI vision at the workshop for autonomous driving. And I will leave a link to the full presentation down below, you must check it out. But what Carpathy just showed us is how bad Lidar and Radar are at this full self-driving stuff. And how sensors like radar are only holding full self-driving back, not helping, because they're so much worse at seeing the world around us than pure vision. And just showed us again how far ahead Tesla is and how hopeless the Waymo system is. It's not that Waymo is far behind, no, Waymo is lost. It is in a dead end. What Waymo is doing will never work on a large scale. So let's check it all out and let me show you why, and let's dive right in. So Andrew Carpathy, the head of Tesla's AI team, just gave yet another presentation on their full self-driving work. Showed off some of Tesla's power in the terms of computer power, where Tesla has maybe the 5th most powerful computer in the world. And no, that is not the Dojo computer we have been talking about before. Dojo will be the next level up. Nuts. No other car company has this kind of computer power. Not even other companies working on full self-driving has this kind of computer power. This is such a big deal. I just don't think people get it. And he also showed us why they're removing sensors while everyone else is adding sensors. As I showed you before, Xpeng and NIO are bragging about their 33 sensors and so on. But Andrew just gave a great example of some testing they have done where the car in front is braking hard. And because of that, the radar actually loses the car from sight several times. The car disappears for the radar system. There is a car. No, it's gone. Oh, there is a car again. No, it's gone. Oh, there it is. No, wait, where did it go? This is not the system you want to be driving your car. And as Andrew and Elon has said many times before, if the two systems do not agree, who do you trust? Well, the AI vision, of course, that actually sees the world around you. And as Andrew said, vision is a much better data-rich sensor. And since the radar system is only making the whole system doubt what is actually happening, get that stupid sensor out of there and only rely on AI vision that has become so much better as sensor than both radar and lidar. Much more data rich, many more data points, and it can see everything that is going on around it. And as Andrew said in another presentation before that I made a whole video about, Tesla can already do with vision what Waymo does with Lidar, mapping the whole area in 3D. So Tesla is removing sensors because they are holding back full self-driving with bad data, like the car that comes and goes because it is braking hard. And as Andrew said, the reason Tesla is not taking the approach of mapping an area is because it is very costly to do and very costly and difficult to maintain. And this is not a scalable solution. And this is also why I'm saying Waymo is sitting in a dead end. John Krafik, former CEO of Waymo from 2015 to 2021, said in this article, riding in fully autonomous vehicles will limit to a small selected group of Waymo customers. Fully autonomous vehicles. They kind of use this term very loosely at Waymo and in all the articles I can find about Waymo, but Waymo does not have any fully autonomous vehicles. There are actually some very specific things it has to be able to do to be called a fully autonomous vehicles. And we all know about the 5 level of autonomous driving, and level 5 is called full driving automation. Level 5 vehicles do not require human attention. The dynamic driving task is eliminated. They will be free from geofencing, able to drive anywhere, and do anything that an experienced human driver can do. Waymo is using geofencing. They therefore can't go anywhere, and they can't do even close to what an experienced human driver can do. So sorry Waymo, but you do not have fully autonomous vehicles. Back in October 2020, they lost their robo-taxi service in Phoenix. That was over 8 months ago, so how many cities are they in now since they have solved fully autonomous driving, right? Well, nowhere. It is not even in all of Phoenix they can drive. Their fleet has access to 100 square miles. But the so-called fully autonomous vehicles that do not have a safety driver in the front seat are limited to only 50 square miles of Phoenix. But 50 square miles, and Phoenix is about 600 square miles. They even have a long way to go just to cover Phoenix with their so-called fully autonomous vehicles. And it's not like taking a cab that can stop everywhere you are. You have to go to these specific hubs to be picked up. So not much better than a bus stop. And remember, here in Europe and many other places, we have had autonomous buses driving around for years as well. So what Waymo is doing with their digital rails here is not really that impressive. We have been doing the same thing for years with driverless buses that drives in a little geofenced area. I have even driven one. So to me, this really gives a good idea of how unscalable this system is. They talk like they have fully autonomous vehicles and they can drive in all of Phoenix, but even almost a year after they deployed their so-called fully autonomous driving in Phoenix, and they have been driving there and mapping the area since 2017, they don't even cover 10% of the city. How anyone can think they will be able to scale this up is beyond me. They have been training and mapping in Phoenix for 4 years now, and they have covered 10%. With this speed, they will not be able to cover the world. This is just simply too big of a task and will take hundreds of years with the pace Waymo have. And remember, this is the real world. It does change all the time. So just keeping this very costly map up to date will be a task of a big army of people and computers alone. And as Andrew Carpathy said, he can't see how anyone can get to full autonomous vehicles if they don't have a very big fleet of cars. Just like Tesla, which has 1.5 million cars on the road right now, collecting data for Tesla and getting thousands of different edge cases in real life from everywhere in the world. Where Waymo has their fleet in Phoenix between 1,000 to 2,000 cars, so let's say 1,500 robo-taxis, and actually only 10% of them are actually driving 100% autonomous with no safety driver in the front seat. And remember, those 1.5 million vehicles Tesla has on the road, customers have paid for. Tesla actually earned money on those cars. Waymo had to pay for their 1,500 cars. And the cost of a Waymo taxi with all its sweeps of sensors cost about $250,000 to build. So Waymo's little tiny fleet of robo-taxis that only drives in a little tiny square of 50 square miles in Phoenix has cost Waymo about $375 million. So sorry, but this by no means is scalable. The way Waymo is doing it will never lead to fully autonomous vehicles. Sure, they can get a robo-taxi service going in a city or two, but so far they are still only in a tiny little piece of a city, and it will cost them billions and billions and billions of dollars for them to just have a fully functional robo-taxi service in the biggest cities in the US. And when Tesla solve full self-driving, they will be able to just flood the streets with full self-driving cars. Because as I have talked about before, since Tesla will be able to sell a $25,000 car to the public that has full self-driving software and hardware, it is probably not going to cost Tesla more than $18,000 to build that car. And when they remove the steering wheel and pedals and so on and make this car a much simpler fully autonomous vehicle, I will bet you they can build that one for about $15,000. And will not sell that to the public, of course, but just launch it as a robo-taxi service. And let's say they do this in 2025, and they are at that point making somewhere between 5 to 7 million cars. So for them to just release a couple of million full self-driving cars into the streets of the US would not be a problem. And for their $375 million Waymo has paid for their 1,500 cars, Tesla would be able to get 25,000 fully autonomous vehicles. For every single car Waymo puts on the street, Tesla can put 16 for the same price and can produce them a lot faster. And of course, Tesla will at that point have millions of full self-driving vehicles on the street already when they flick that switch. So Tesla is solving the hard problem, solving real world AI vision, as I made a whole video about, because when this is solved, they will have true fully autonomous vehicles, and then they can just scale up like there's no tomorrow, and that will simply kill Waymo, because then Tesla will suddenly flood the street of Phoenix with cheaper fully autonomous vehicles, which will cost you less to drive in as a customer and can go anywhere you want to, not just in this little geo-fenced area, and can pick you up wherever you are. You don't have to go to a Waymo taxi stop. Why would anyone take a Waymo taxi at that point? They won't, because they are not fully autonomous vehicles. And this is a big difference between Waymo and Tesla. When Tesla solve the full self-driving, they will not just be able to put cars in a little sandpit in Phoenix with bus stops. They will be fully autonomous vehicle and can drive anywhere better than a human. True level 5 autonomy. How people can even compare Waymo to Tesla's full self-driving is beyond me. But hopefully we will soon learn a little bit more about Tesla's AI software, because Elon did just tweet that AI Day is coming in a month or two. So maybe more people will learn a little bit more and maybe see that there is no race for fully autonomous driving anymore. Tesla has already won the race. We are just watching it play out. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.